Okay, in this video we're going to be checking out another 5-inch freestyle frame here from Ready to Sky. It's called the Nova 235, and you can get this frame from Amazon. It's about $30, and that's what I paid for it. This is a clone, I believe, or something very similar to the Schizo Nova frame, I believe. And actually, it looks like the arms are, at least the ends of the arms are kind of a similar shape, this sort of star shape here. And so, just to see if it was really an exact clone or not, I went ahead and printed out these little arm bumpers on Thingiverse that were supposedly for the real frame, and they kind of fit, so I can get them to go in here. But you can see that the arm shape's a little bit different. There's a little bit less carbon on some of the pointy ends here. You see right there's a gap, but I'm going to end up putting it on top anyway and using it as a soft mount, so we'll be able to use these. So you can kind of use these arm bumpers if you want to print them out, so I'm going to actually put them on the build later. This is just the frame review. Now, when I was considering getting this frame, I was looking at some of the reviews on Amazon, and there were some complaints about the frame being poorly cut, but looking at the one I got, doesn't seem too bad. And those reviews are from a while back. I think this frame's been out there for a while, maybe a good 8-9 months maybe, and perhaps the early versions of the frame that was sent out early, when this first came out on Amazon had some issues with the cuts, but the carbon here seems to be okay. I mean, it's straight cuts here, no chamfering on the edges, so it is somewhat sharp, and there's a little bit of carbon dust here, not a whole lot, but it's tolerable. I mean, for the money I paid, I can't really complain too much. It's a 4mm arm here. And obviously separated arms, so you got a bottom plate which is 2mm, and then the rest, I believe this one also, this sandwich plate is also 2mm, and the rest of the plates are 1.5mm. So basically the arms are going to go between the bottom plate and the sandwich plate. You got a 1.5mm top plate here. This area here is for the camera, and there's an angled camera mount area here, so you can mount your GoPro at the fixed angle. I think it's about 30 degrees angle. And then you get a few other pieces here. You get some foam padding here for your battery. I'm not sure if I'll be using that. And then another foam pad for the GoPro area. And then you get some foam feet. Obviously you get all your hardware and screws and stuff. Mostly this is like M3 screws of different lengths. And I think they've separated these out by length, so it should be easy to figure out what goes with what. And these are all the standoffs. And they also include a explosion diagram along with the length of the screws I should be using where. So should not be too difficult to figure out. Everything here is crisp fit nuts, so shouldn't be too much. There should be some little space eaten up here between the bottom plate and the stack. I think it's a 20mm sort of a low profile build here, so you're going to need a stack that's not going to have too much height. And I think in the back area of the bottom plate here, so there's additional mounting points. So this is the center stack here. This here would be the front, and this is the back area, and there's some additional 30 by 30, I think, or 20 by 20 mounting holes here for a video transmitter or something like that in the back, since it's a low profile build. And the last thing they include is just a pretty generic looking battery strap, and that's pretty much it. So oh yeah, I almost forgot. So there's these stickers and decals. They're supposed to go on the arms and the plates and everything. I'm not sure if I want to use this. The art here is quite weird. I think this is for the arms, and these are all just for the arms, it looks like. Yeah, according to the picture in the product page, there's supposed to be stickers for the top plate as well, but wait a minute, maybe it's here at the very end. Yeah, it's right here at the very end. Okay, so that's the one for the top plate, and then you get, okay, so you get 8 of these for the top and bottom of the arm, so I guess that makes sense now. So my question to you guys is, do you guys want me to use this or not? I'm not really sure if I want to put this on here. This is kind of weird looking. What I'll do is I'll put a little card here in the corner to a poll if you'd like to see the build with the stickers on, let me know. And if I get a lot of votes on that, then I'll go ahead and do that. But kind of thinking, not kind of like I might not even bother at this point. It just seems like a lot of extra work, and it doesn't look that pretty. So let me know. There'll be a card in the corner. You guys can vote. Anyway, go ahead. I'll take all of the parts out of the little bags here. I'll go start putting this together, and let's see what this looks like assembled, and we'll get a little weight measurement as well. Okay, so here it is all put together. It wasn't too hard, just follow the diagram and the instructions that were given for the screw lengths, and it all went together pretty good. One little tip here is on this little cage for the camera mount area and the GoPro mount area, put that on first with the standoffs into the top plates before you mount the top plate onto the bottom plate. So put together the bottom plate, because it's pretty easy to do, straightforward. Put on the screws, small screws, and these 20mm standoffs onto the bottom plate. Assemble the top plate with this little camera cage here, and then on the last step, put the this top plate with the camera cage into the slots down below here, and then they'll go together pretty easy. Other than that, it wasn't too hard to figure out. Dimensions here on the frame: 235mm motor to motor, and it's actually a Truex frame. It's 166mm side to side and front to back, so it's a little bit different. Most of these Freestyle frames that are top mounted are like H-style frames, but this is a Truex frame, so probably why there's a little bit more camera angle here than you would see on some other Freestyle frames. They can have a little bit less camera angle, and because the H-style arms are kind of more squished together front to back, so there's less props in view in the GoPro footage. So probably in this instance here, once you get the GoPro up there, it should be okay. I think because of the angle, you're probably not going to see any props in view, even with this Truex dimensions. Anyway, the amount of space here between the top plate and the bottom plate is only 20mm. You can see here, not a whole lot of space. Probably can get one, and then another standoff there, and then a second board's going to be just barely clearing the top plate, and then you're going to have to put your battery strap in there. So you may need to get a little creative here in case these 9mm are a little bit too tall. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to turn out in the build. We'll have to put the boards in here and see if these standoffs are a little bit too tall. Then it might be better to go with a longer screw here that goes up through, and then you put like a TPU spacer or some O-rings or something like that, and then goes. Then you put the ESC board on top of that, so there'll be a little bit less spacer than the standoffs are giving, and then put your 4-in-1 AC, and then you put the standoff between your 4-in-1 AC and the flight controller. So I may end up doing something like that. Shouldn't be too difficult to do, and then obviously put my video transmitter here in the back, because obviously that's forward room space back there. Very low profile build. Once you put your motor on here and your prop line, the battery should be right in line with the prop line or thereabouts. So that's why that's like kind of what they're going for on this frame is for a Freestyle frame is the CG with the battery and the weight kind of in line with the props. So I think that'll turn out pretty good. Okay, so the weight here, no battery of course, no electronics, coming in at 116.6 grams. So not too bad for a Freestyle frame. Anyway, it's going to do it for this review of the Nova 235 frame. I'll have a build video a little bit later with the HDLRC 2207 1775 kV motors and the Titan F460 stack. It'll be a 6S Freestyle build, so that'll be kind of interesting. Yeah, so probably have that build out pretty soon, probably within the week or so, week and a half. So be on the lookout for that video. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.